And just a quick reminder of other programmes coming up from this summer here on JackpotButtonLewis Productions. As in the lead up to this summer's FIFA World Cup, a chance to relive one of the most historical days in the world of English football, with an exclusive look back in time to nearly over 60 years ago since the England senior men's football team last won the FIFA World Cup back in the summer of 1966 against their old rivals of West Germany. With unique colour restoration and remastered sound, and also an exclusive interview from the World Cup hat-trick scorer himself of Sir Geoff Hurst. That's the exclusive 60th anniversary screening of the 1966 FIFA World Cup final, England versus West Germany. Starting from later on this week, only here on JackpotButtonLewis Productions. You're watching JackpotButtonLewis Productions, part of the YouTube network. Now another 4 years have passed, and now the greatest football tournament in the world is back for another year of this summer, as we join Jack Wright for the start of a brand new World Cup football vlog series as he follows Thomas Tuchel and his 26-man squad all the way to hopefully World Cup football glory in the triple Pan-American hosts of Mexico, the United States and Canada. Now here on JackpotButtonLewis Productions, it's the first episode of the brand new World Cup football vlog series, World Cup 26, The America's Dream. Have you ever had a dream? Most people have dreams in their everyday lives. But what is a dream? A dream is something that you long to achieve or be someone throughout your life on this unique planet Earth. I know I have one. But most people in the world have one specific dream they want to see happen in front of their very eyes. For some particular people from around the world is the opportunity to play the beautiful game of football, also named soccer in other places around the world. This sport brings people together from every country and continent across our planet. It brings people together to watch 48 different countries from across the world to compete against each other in the greatest football tournament in the world, the FIFA World Cup. And for the first time in its history, it's being joint hosted by 3 Pan-American nations: the United States of America, Mexico, and Canada. But only one country out of those 48 can only become the best and to be the next champions of the world. For some nations, it may seem impossible, especially for England. But over the years, England have got ever so closer to achieving world football glory once again. And now, as the tournament mostly takes place in the land of the free and home of the brave. They're hoping for their very own American dream. And whenever you think it's certain or impossible, never give up on the dream. World Cup 26. The America's Dream.
Seven games to reach the final, 8 to lift the cup, 48 nations dreaming. Who will make the cup? 11 men in colours, 22 on grass, one chance to make history. Who's really world class? Boots laced up with pressure, flags up in the sky, whole nations hold their breath for football's biggest prize. But it ain't about the money, it's who can play the best, who turns up when you're down, who can deal with the stress, who takes it in their stride on the world's biggest stage, plays in front of stadiums like they're playing in a cage. Cause that's where it all started, just kids down the park, knocking a ball about till daylight turned to dark. From tower blocks in London to beaches in Brazil, from fields across Africa, we all know the drill. It don't matter where you come from, it don't matter who you are. If you nutmeg him and score, you're our superstar. And now our clubs don't matter, or where they finished in the league. United through football, that's what we all need. It's a universal language, we all speak the same, no matter where you're from. It's the beautiful game, from the first kickoff to the final whistle blown. 48 nations dreaming, but only one takes it home. So let the whole world watch, let the whole world see that this is more than football. This is what it means to dream.
Yeah! Whoa, whoa, easy, easy, boy. Looks like we're finally here. Thanks for taking me here. Good boy, good boy. Well, this looks like it's where it's all happening for the next few weeks. Ah, yes. This must be where it's all happening. We'll have a chair, a few flags, a computer, and also a trophy down here. Oh, I think I know what this is. That can only mean one thing. Man, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. My word. Well, how you doing, partners? And welcome to the start of a brand new adventure in the world of make that sporting competition. And I know that over the next few weeks, I think 48 of the best countries in the world that play the sport of soccer and football and other nations around the world will all have a chance and a dream to get this one and only prestigious and priceless trophy named the FIFA World Cup. I feel like it's one of the most precious and most grandiose achievement or thing to have for any country to be crowned champions of the world. Well, I need to keep this in a special place right here until one of those 48 countries will be lifting the cup in just under a month's time in July. The question is, who will become champions of the world? And just like over here in the good old home of the free and land of the brave, I'm sure one of those particular nations would like to have their very own American dream. Well, I don't know how long I was going to keep that character going, but howdy partners, and what's up guys, and also make that buena vida mi amigos, and all you Mexicans out there and Canadians, buena vu also if you are a French Canadian as well. My name is Jack Wright, known as JackpotButtonLewis on YouTube, and welcome to the start of the very first episode of a brand new Football World Cup vlog series, very appropriately titled World Cup 26, The America's Dream. Yes, that's right everybody, the season of summer is here once again for once another year, and once again the greatest football tournament in all the world. As you just heard there, the FIFA World Cup, which of course is standing now proudly here on my desk in front of my computer, and all of these amazing, of course, ceremonial flags of the three nations that unbelievably for the first time in all of the FIFA World Cup's history of the actual football tournament itself, for the 23rd time since 1930, it being first played all those years ago. This is the first time that both three American, Pan-American nations are joint hosting the FIFA World Cup. Once again, Canada, the United States, for the first time since 1994, over 32 years ago, and first time once again for Canada, and for Mexico since 1986, and unbelievably 32 years ago before then was also the last time where the current champions, as you can see, we've also got the Argentine flag there as well, as they are the current world champions, beating France on an incredible match that I think I've ever seen for many years for watching the tournament. But unbelievably, also as of this year, this happens to also be 20 years as of this year since I first started watching the FIFA World Cup back in 2006 in Germany, and it was the first FIFA World Cup to be hosted in Germany since after the conflict of World War II and a few other controversial conflict issues. And also as well, this tournament has not managed to avoid that in particular either, because as I can quickly look here on my phone, and to give you of course a little insight here on this first episode of World Cup of course 26, and the America's Dream, we are going to have a quick look and overview of the tournament itself, and then from the next episode onwards we are also then going to focus on the new German manager and the new once again manager, that being Thomas Tuchel, as he announces his already his 26-man squad, and ahead of their opening game against Croatia. The World Cup, unbelievably, the FIFA World Cup has already started from just a few days ago, but since we've officially launched this series a few days later than expected, because I didn't realise that was the date of when the actual World Cup was going to initially kick off on the 11th of June with the opening match with Mexico against South Africa from the Mexico City Stadium in Mexico. We've had two other games that have been played as of from earlier on this morning, as of currently on Saturday the 13th of June as well. And but like I said, the first game for England, as they comfortably qualified, unbeaten also as well, an undefeated record at the in qualifying for this year's FIFA World Cup, as of from when they managed to do a successful undefeated campaign from last year. It's amazing to know that they are in a very good position And once again, to remind you, this is the 23rd time that the FIFA World Cup has been hosted, and it's going to be running, as I said already, from the 11th to the 19th of July as of next month, also with the final. And it's the first tournament in history, of course, in the FIFA World Cup, in the whole history of the tournament, to be hosted by 3 nations. And it's also the first to also include 48 teams, an expansion from the previous 32 over the, I think it was since 1998, I think, was the last one. But with the past nations of hosting the 1970 and 1986 tournaments in Mexico, it'll be the first country to host or co-host the World Cup 3 times. As it says here, once again, the United States previously hosting the World Cup back 32 years ago in 1994. But for the first time, as I mentioned already, it is going to be, by contrast, the first time that Canada is hosting or co-hosting the tournament as well. And it's returning to its traditional Northern Hemisphere summer schedule from 4 years ago, after the very warm and hot climate and quite health, of course, life-threatening climate in the desertic nation of Qatar, which was initially uniquely held in November and December in the lead-up, unbelievably, during Christmas time. If you might remember joining me from just a few years ago when I covered that very World Cup campaign in my previous series that I covered at the last World Cup, and that being Football's Come Home for Christmas, and that's tying in with from a previous result where also the women's team of the Lionesses managed to go all the way to the final also of the last Women's World Cup, but narrowly losing to Spain in the final by 1 goal, and they have just finished a challenging qualification period, hoping to qualify for the Women's FIFA World Cup as of next year. But they have made it into the playoffs despite a painful narrow 4-0, not narrow, but of course a painful 4-0 thrashing the second time around. But they narrowly beat Spain 1-0 from earlier on at the end of last year as well. So of course, the tying in with that and the success of them also once again from, like I also just mentioned, from 6 years ago prior, and as of this time last summer, also the Lionesses are double women's European champions after securing their second title and their first one on foreign soil, I think, in history, as well as winning on home soil in back in England in 2022 also. But like I said already, they also won in Switzerland this time last summer as well, back in 2025, on penalties, unbelievably. But it was a hard-fought final, thoroughly deserved as well. And even though we are focusing on the men's team in this series, I know that I've become a lot more diverse with watching the women's team as well, because they have had unbelievably more success than the male side have had. But unbelievably, also the under-21 side also won the European Championships against Germany in the final, winning in extra time also from last year as well. So even though the senior men's football team haven't won a major tournament for once again almost nearly 60 years on now, since 1966 on the 30th of July, when that very final happened at the old Wembley Stadium against West Germany, when they won 4-2 after extra time, and all courtesy of an incredible historical 3-goal hat-trick from the legendary England player Sir Geoff Hurst, who's still with us as well. And slightly going on topic, we can also clarify that going back to the host nations for this year's FIFA World Cup, they have all automatically qualified: Canada, Mexico and United States. But uniquely, we've got teams such as Cape Verde, Curacao, Jordan and Uzbekistan, countries from both in the Caribbean and also the Middle East, also making their World Cup debuts. And this is their third title that they won, going back to Argentina as current champions, and they're hoping to get their fourth as of this summer, as being one of a few favourite countries to try and go all the way. But preparations for the tournament, even just a few months beforehand, also did have drawn controversy with all to do with the immigration and visa policies affecting qualified teams and their fans. Also in the United States with the current running of the government by President Donald Trump, who has been receiving a lot of backlash. Loads of geopolitics have been happening in this very tournament, but we are going to try and completely ignore that. I know it's still something that it's almost like bull in the china shop style situation it is, but we are going to focus on all of the positives, not to mention also the participation of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and also an ongoing war waged between Israel and the United States, even though they did fail to qualify during the European qualifiers for the World Cup as of this summer. And also FIFA's use of dynamic ticket pricing, also very expensive also ticket pricing for if you want to get certain seats into any of the stadiums that are part of this particular tournament. But it was first mentioned here as we go to the expansion and the format of this summer's World Cup, that the idea of expanding the tournament had been suggested as early back in 2013 by the then UEFA president of Michel Platini, and also from 10 years as of this year by the current FIFA president of Gianni Infantino. Opponents of the proposal argued that a number of matches played was already at an unacceptable level, and that the expansion would dilute the quality of the matches, and that the decision was driven by political rather than sporting concerns, accusing Infantino of using the promise to bringing more countries to the World Cup to win his election as FIFA president, unbelievably, at the 2016 FIFA Extraordinary Congress. But once again, starting with this edition, as we have mentioned, at the FIFA World Cup, the amount of participants has been expanded to 48 teams, an increase of 16 teams compared to the previous 7 competitions. Also, the teams are being split into 12 groups of 4 teams, with the top 2 teams in each group and the 8 best third-place teams progressing to a new round of 16 part of the tournament. Also as approved by the FIFA Council on March the 14th back in 2023, and this is set to be the first expansion and format change since the 1998 FIFA World Cup back in France. And also the number of matches played will be increased from 64 to 104, that meaning that will be 30 or 40 additional matches. And the number of matches played by teams reaching the Final Four will increase from 7 to 8. And the tournament will last for 39 days, an increase of 32 from the last 2 tournaments, 2014 and 2018, in both Brazil and Russia respectively. And each team will still play free group stage matches, and the final match day at club level for players named in the final squads was going to be on the 24th of May from last month as of this year, and the clubs had to release their players by May the 25th, with exceptions granted by players participating in continental club competition finals until the 30th of May, which that's how it actually was left that late for England, especially when they had so many players to choose from following an incredible 2 previous UEFA International Football friendlies, a narrow 1-0 win over fellow qualified nation of the All Whites of New Zealand, and also unfortunately to a team that sadly failed to qualify, the South American side of Costa Rica, even though they played quite rough and quite unnecessarily violently as well, trying to almost target certain players and almost try to injure them on purpose. I do remember that the female referee that refereed that game from just a few weeks ago really had her work cut out, and England, even though they managed to comfortably win 3-0, they could have scored more goals, but thanks to an amazing amazing early goal in the 9th minute from Declan Rice, and then a deliberate handball by an elbow, blocking the ball, denying a goal scoring opportunity from the Costa Rican defenders. That meant that Anthony Gordon of Newcastle United, formerly at club level, then managed to convert a 2-0 lead from the penalty spot, and then towards the end of the last 5 minutes also a shot on by Morgan Rogers, initially saved by the goalkeeper of I think it was Sequeira, who was the name of the goalkeeper there for Costa Rica. But while the keeper was down on the ground, a clinical light touch header with the goal mouth completely open for him, Ollie Watkins, his Aston Villa teammate, managed to get the 3rd goal in. And there were loads of other chances for more potential penalties with challenges in the 18-yard box. There was so much that happened, but if you haven't seen the game, I highly recommend you go and look at the previous match. You can see that at the end of this episode, and even though I can't show actual match footage, but the commentary that I provided alongside ITV Sports, Sam Matterface and Lee Dixon, they will also be there, and they've got loads of little features alongside introduced by Mark Palgach and Roy Keane and Ian Wright, who are also part of the ITV Sport broadcasting team presenting coverage of the FIFA World Cup as of over this next 2 months or so. And as well as the BBC have also done the same as well, with Gabby Logan being at the front of that, as well as Guy Mowbray also being one of a few commentators for the upcoming matches as of over the next few days towards the end of this week, and starting the first full week of matches going into the other groups, because we've got over once again, just to remind you, that the 12 groups, that is from alphabetized from Group A to Group L, and that is unbelievably the group that England drew themselves in alongside fellow nations of not Costa Rica. I meant to say Croatia, which is the opening match for England from next Wednesday on the 17th of June, which will be also played at the A&T Stadium in Dallas, and more specifically in the Arlington part of Texas as well. That's how it says here on my phone here. But also as well, there is going to be a few other expansion formats were explored here, but we're not going to go too much into detail of that. But interestingly enough, though, that for the first time, in accordance with the laws of the game of association football, the 2026 FIFA World Cup has introduced several rule changes that is going to be in accordance with the official laws of the game. They are primarily designed to reduce time-wasting tactics among the participating countries, and we have got, I think, 5 or 6 brand new rules. It's 5 there, my apologies. Yeah, I did correct me. I actually said that right the first time round. So the new rules for the tournament include 10-second substitutions, meaning that players are being substituted during a match. They have 10 seconds to exit the pitch. Otherwise, this replacement must wait for 1 whole minute before entering onto the pitch and being part of then, of course, depending on what match fixture it is. 5-second restarts. A visual 5-second countdown can be shown by the referee for throw-ins and goal kicks in situations of time wasting, potential time wasting for one particular team. If the ball is not put in play in time, possession is awarded to the opposing team that would have initially they'll be forfeited to the opposing side out of the 2 teams who are playing at the time. Medical treatment, where any one player would receive medical attention on the pitch, must leave the field and wait for at least 1 minute before returning to the field of play. And we've also got expanded VAR, which is the video assistant referee system, which has been used now. This is the third time it's been used, but it's been expanded now that it can review and overturn clear mistakes on given second yellow cards, wrongly awarded corner kicks, expanded mistaken identity, and certain attacking fouls for particular challenges. It might seem, of course, as you know, in previous years, it's always been argued, especially it's been overshadowing even just at club level, of course, football with matches from the Premier League or also other of the domestic leagues across Europe. But I feel like this could be a very interesting rule because, as I've mentioned before, I do remember very well there was actually a penalty that was issued during one of the UEFA International Football friendly matches, which was against Uruguay, fellow qualified nation from South America, and it was where Arsenal forward Ben White, unfortunately, I think, touched I think a player in the penalty box, and it was a high leg, not exactly a tackle, but trying to clear the ball away. But annoyingly, it was a German referee, I think Sven Blonsky, I think his name was. And I do remember very well when he pointed to the penalty spot. It was a soft penalty, and when I saw that happen and they managed to score an equaliser in injury time, I was quite furious about that. So hopefully with this new rule, it will. We don't want to have controversial decisions and indiscriminate decisions like that, even though that was during a friendly game. But I know that it's already been very highly productive so far. And also, one of the other unique rule changes here are mouth covering red cards to stop confrontational insulting behaviour hidden from lip reading of any player playing at one time in any of the matches during this FIFA World Cup. Any player who covers his mouth from his hand, arm or shirt while confronting an opponent will be issued a straight red card. So they are really cracking down on racial and offensive or verbal, of course, language, offensive language towards players. And I know that's obviously a red card offence anyway if you're being offensive or rude even to the referee, but I feel that's a very good decision there because I feel like that has been an ongoing thing in previous tournaments, and I know that a lot of insubordination needs to be taken a lot more seriously, so which of course, if you are familiar with that, I know that's a military term, but when you are going against people of a position of authority, I feel like that is a very good rule. It may seem quite strict, but I feel like that, you know, the way that some of these referees at the FIFA World Cup, there has been decisions where they have been very, you know, I wouldn't say one-sided, but they've always there's been times where it's either had a positive or quite a negative impact on even just affecting a game. Actually, unbelievably, as weird as I'd like to mention this also as well, I came across an amazing thing that was mentioned here from, I think it was from amazingly, the Welsh former international rugby union referee, that being the great Nigel Owens. He said, "A good referee can't make a bad game good, but a bad referee can make a good game bad." So, and I know obviously rulings in rugby are completely different to football. There is a lot more disciplinary action than just constantly having squabbles over and being distant and everything. I know that's also a yellow card offence when you're being distant by word or action against the referee. Also as well, as it was mentioned, or briefly I remember, it's not just players that are responsible for getting red or yellow cards. Also any of the coaching staff that have a difference of opinion towards the fourth official or even the assistant referee or the main referee on the field, they can also be responsible for getting a few of the very same treatment as well. which is going to be very, very interesting, because I know that that happened after the, I think during the last football friendly for England against Costa Rica, where I think it was one of the coaching staff had a difference of opinion to the referee and was given a yellow card for, as I said, that being the main infringement of being dissent by word or action. But anyway, with also that being said, because due to the very warm climate, excuse me, since it unbelievably was introduced, as I said, I had no idea about this initially, back in 2014, the World Cup, FIFA World Cup in Russia, calling on how hydration breaks are going to be introduced, and there is going to be mandatory 3-minute hydration breaks in every half for all the matches, and those 3 minutes will be added on in stoppage time at the end of either half as well, and also it's because of the warm climate in mostly the host nations such as Mexico and the United States, where we've already had a bit of an experience of that from just the previous international friendlies that England have had. But there's been loads more other things of that going on as well, and it's going to be amazing to see how from some of the games that I've already seen as of course of today. I know that 2 other games are happening from as of this evening in Group B and Group C, where Qatar, a former host nation from back 4 years ago, will take on Switzerland, and in Group C, Brazil will take on Morocco. And also as of tomorrow morning, because also some of these matches, due to the time zones, they will have to be played during, of course, the late hours over here in the UK. But from as of tomorrow morning, there will be the other Group C match of Haiti and fellow host nation of Scotland. They will be playing as of tomorrow morning from 2 a.m. sorry, at the Boston Stadium in Foxborough. That's where, unbelievably, England will be playing their second group stage match against Ghana. That will be on, I think, on the 22nd of June, a week after the first game against Croatia. And as well as that, we have got a few other matches as well, including in Group D with Australia against Turkey from 5 o'clock. That will be taking place in at the BC Palace in Vancouver in Canada. And as well as that, we also have the Group E game of Germany with brand new Caribbean nation Curacao. That will be happening from the Houston Stadium in the United States, in Houston, the state as well there, to be more specific. And also we have Netherlands against Japan from 9 o'clock from tomorrow evening, also at the Dallas Stadium in Arlington. And that's the stadium where England will be playing their first match as of, like I said, in just under a few days' time. As I've said already, since it's now the 13th of June, there is only just, make that 4 days to go until the opening match for England. But as well as that, like I said, this is the first FIFA World Cup, as we just mentioned, the fellow host nation of Scotland. That is the first time that they have qualified for a FIFA World Cup since 1998. They have got that opening game against the Caribbean nation, island nation of Haiti. From, as I've said, from tomorrow morning, and they are looking very, very confident also going into this FIFA World Cup, because they have been away from this major tournament, like I said, for over 28 years, and even though they comfortably qualified after an incredible, I think it was a 2-0 win over Spain a few years ago, which was a pivotal match for them to qualify for the last European Football Championship. Unfortunately, they missed out on to a last-minute goal scored against Hungary, knocking them out of the group stage. But they are hoping to go far in this tournament. But most importantly as well, England are going to be the same as well. And I know that what we're going to be, like I said, covering in the next episode of World Cup 26, The America's Dream. It's going to be very exciting. We've also got a little feature about Thomas Tuchel. Unbelievably, he's already been given a contract extension until 2028, even though he's only been England senior men's football team manager for just over a year now, and it's quite amazing that he's already been offered a contract extension. But he is a brilliant manager. We've seen him already. I know that due to some unexpected defeats to in friendlies to Senegal, a 3-0 loss and also a 1-0 loss to Japan at Wembley, I know that there is been lots to talk about also as well. But a majority of the games he has managed so far for England have been wins. And he is hoping once again for more of the same in this summer's FIFA World Cup. And we've got a great feature about him and his assistant manager Anthony Barry, who was a former club manager as well. And he will be hearing an amazing little feature about him as well. And also, don't forget, on the next episode, we'll be looking into the impressive rising star of Ivan Toney, who also made his major tournament debut for England from a few years ago at the 2024 European Football Championships in Germany. And he was responsible, unbelievably, as to providing an all-important assist from a throw-in. I think it was in the knockout round of 16 match against Slovakia, when unbelievably they were a goal down, and the throw-in that was then thrown by Ivan Toney, unbelievably in the 5th minute of stoppage time. And initially I thought England were going to go out of the tournament and to a smaller nation like that, and it was going to be a huge upset as one of the potential teams to go all the way to the final. But then we saw that unbelievable overhead kick from Jude Bellingham, and it's already been confirmed that he is going to be starting for the in that first match against Croatia. And he's also talked about that he was also responsible. He was one of the 5 players that also scored a penalty and against Switzerland in the quarterfinals. And like I said, he's been playing for a load of English clubs, but there is a lot of potential for the young midfielder as well. And we'll also be, we've already been hearing some footage from a few weeks before and leading up to this tournament from the also, once again, the former England manager himself, Sir Gareth Southgate, on his thoughts on what Thomas Tuchel and his, of course, on his predictions for him managing England at a major tournament for the first time in his managerial career. We also have had, there's an amazing video we've also seen about him on how determined he wants to get a second star on the England shirt, and from an incredible experience from being initially when he was back in 2021, the year of 2021, when he managed the Premier League side that went on to win the UEFA Champions League final over Man City, that being Chelsea. We know that he's been getting loads of promising feedback also and comments from England fans alike, and we'll be reviewing some of them in the next episode, as well as we'll be hopefully hearing a press conference interview from him as what he thinks leading up to the first match of this summer's FIFA World Cup and the campaign for England at this major tournament. And we know that, I know it might seem impossible, but like to appropriately title my series being The America's Dream. I hope that the England senior men's football team would like to have their very own American dream and to go hopefully all the way to the final on the 19th of July, and that will be played at the MetLife Stadium in once again both New Jersey and New York. And it would be amazing if England can get there. But once again, there are 8 games in front of them. 7 initially, of course, including the final as well. And as we had the amazing little introduction from the Britain's Got Talent finalist of Sonny Green, that amazing poem that also was at the end of the last international football friendly match. It's the word dream is going to be mentioned, I have to say, a hell of a lot during the next few weeks. So, well, with that being said, I feel like there's nothing else to say. I mean, this only was just an introductory episode, telling you a little bit more about what to expect at this summer's FIFA World Cup. But as always, it's not just about me on this series presenting it to you. If any of you out there would like to be part of this series in any way, shape or form, if you've got your thoughts on Thomas Tuchel and his 26 optimistic and quite I think star-studded lineup, especially with an incredible and I think I wouldn't say formidable, but a very stacked squad that he has, as of course for England as well. Of course, we would love to hear from your thoughts on what he would need to do at this summer's FIFA World Cup. Also, if you've got a match score prediction that you would like to send to us also during all of the matches for England at this tournament as well, we would love to hear from you there. And don't forget also, if you'd like to be a part of this series in any way, if you want to contact me, just direct message me here on my YouTube channel of JackpotButtonLewis Productions, and I'll get to you as soon as possible. Don't forget, you can also contact me via Instagram on by my new, of course, Instagram page of Real6 King Henry 8 as well. And yeah, as I said before, without nothing else much to say, we are officially off with this brand new FIFA World Cup series, themed, of course, here on once again exclusively on YouTube. I'm really excited. I'm sure all of you England football fans out there are feeling the same, and it's nice to be back, of course, as it's we've had some bright sunny weather. You might have heard a little breeze outside because it's quite breezy outside over here in the UK, and more specifically here in the country of England. But over in the free parts of both North and South America, with Canada, the United States and Mexico, it is quite hot in most places, and the weather is going to be quite unpredictable. Also, not to mention, I completely forgot to say also that from the last international football friendly match that England had, the match unbelievably from the Inter and Co Stadium in Orlando had to be delayed by an hour due to inclement weather and thunderstorms and a very high level of humidity. And there is been a few articles that we have to get used to some of these match delays. As much as it might go against us, I feel like that the more time that of course Thomas Tuchel, the manager, and also all the team have to of course rest and recover after having an incredible of course behind closed doors friendly against a little local team based in the region of the United States of Miami. I know that they are looking very, very confident, I think, going into the first game. And wouldn't it be nice if we get a nice big win, of course, which I do know that could be on the possibility, because if you did not know, also we can quickly mention before we of course, end this episode here of World Cup 26, the America's Dream, we can unbelievably clarify that as of the last game for the current England and captain and skipper Harry Kane, who this will be his sixth tournament. We'll also be hearing an interview from him in the next episode on what he feels like, how he's going into the tournament. He said he's the most fittest he's ever been in his football career, which is incredible. He's had a record-breaking 61 goals for the, I think, the Bundesliga winning league side of Bayern Munich, and currently he is also is the joint fourth in the all-time of England men's football team appearances and caps for England. Currently he is equal with Steven Gerrard, and when the next game, as of course in just a few days' time, he will equal the cap record of even Sir David Beckham, a former England captain who, as you know, unbelievably also as well, we found out earlier on this week, he's also, due to his services, not just to football, but lots of charity work, including UNICEF as well, being also an ambassador for the charity World Charity Football event, also of Soccer Aid for UNICEF, marking its 20th anniversary as of at the end of last month, also in May, and he has also been given the incredible opportunity to have his very own Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame, star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, and I feel like that if Harry Kane goes on to play all of the matches as of this particular tournament, he won't, unbelievably, unfortunately, beat the all-time England men's cap record by the former goalkeeper Peter Shilton with 125, but he's only just 6 matches away from equaling also the men's cap record also, and not to mention the former record goal scorer for the England senior men's football team, Wayne Rooney, with 120 appearances. So he's level currently with Steven Gerrard, and he's already surpassed the legendary great Sir Bobby Moore. Apologies, not Sir Bobby Moore, but he wasn't knighted, unfortunately. But once again, he was the main person over nearly 60 years ago to bring once again the iconic Jules Rimet trophy. Actually, I've got it right here, unbelievably, because in recent, of course, weeks, they've recently shown and remastered and beautiful colour restoration due to incredible research and visual entertainment technology. I have also got the prestigious and the original 30 Jules Rimet International Trophy. Unfortunately, it's got a little few chips taken off, unfortunately, because something knocked it over, unfortunately, but I've still managed to keep it in good condition, and once again, this has been the only piece of silverware that the England senior men's football team have won since, once again, 1966. But once again, recent form also reaching 2 consecutive European Championship finals. England are still our firm favourites to go far, and they may not win, but I feel like with the run that they had to, of course, once again to the quarter-final, despite losing controversially to France due to quite an indiscriminate Brazilian referee, has to be said. Which I know I forgot to mention that on my last series, because I sadly didn't get around to doing that in the end. But unfortunately, due to an unexpected penalty miss, he did manage to score 1 penalty back to equalise the score during the game, Harry Kane. But he is looking very good at the moment going into this summer's FIFA World Cup. And I'm sure we're hoping to see more of the same, and I know that from the last European Football Championship, he's managed to have a better form recently with scoring goals as well. He may not have scored as many as in previous tournaments. But then again, unbelievably, 8 years ago, he also went on to receive the Golden Boot also for 6 goals in collectively that he got, and not to mention an unbelievable hat-trick of goals scored against Panama in the second match of the group in the back at the FIFA World Cup in Russia 2018. So there is lots to, of course, look forward to over the next few episodes. And as I said before, next time here on World Cup 26, the America's Dream, we'll look into, once again, the 26-man squad, and also hear from Thomas Tuchel on his thoughts of being the new England manager, and his, of course, his predictions, and how he feels in his what he would like to achieve with this team ahead of this summer's FIFA World Cup. Well, with that being said, thanks very much for watching the opening episode once again of my brand new FIFA World Cup themed vlog series, that being World Cup 26, the America's Dream. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it a like, comment down below on your thoughts for the tournament. If you once again have got any opinions on the England football team that Thomas Tuchel is managing as of this summer's tournament, and also don't forget to get your score predictions in, because also we'll be covering the first game once again at the A&T Stadium in of course Arlington in Dallas, and I know that we're in for a very exciting opening game, and we're hoping also to go to somewhere just like where we covered in my previous series of From London to Berlin, in some very lively places, such as some local pubs around the Ely area of East Cambridgeshire, and also as well I might be having an appearance, you might be seeing a special appearance from my mum Samantha Wright, who in recent years has also had a reigniting love for football since her team of Sunderland unbelievably beat my team Chelsea in the Premier League. But unfortunately, no Sunderland players have made it to the final 26-man squad this year. But she is really getting behind it. It's been unbelievably nearly, I think, 6 years, I think now, since I first remembered one of her best reactions had to be against when we played Germany in the UEFA 2021 European Championships. That incredible win in the knockout round of 16, a 2-0 win and clean sheet over Germany, and it was so wonderful to see that game, and the memories of that game have just come flooding back to me as soon as I mention those words right now. But anyway, before I of course ramble on any longer, it's time for us to go and bid you a fond farewell just for now here, of course, on World Cup 26, the America's Dream. And as always, until next time, in the next episode, we will be, like I said, covering England and the preview of their upcoming their opening FIFA World Cup fixture against Croatia. We'll also look into Steve Bruce also as well, who is the manager for the Scotland team as well. We'll have a little feature on that, and also not to mention in the following episode also of that, leading up to kick-off of the opening match for England at this year's FIFA World Cup, we'll also have a feature about Croatia, as unbelievably in 2 consecutive tournaments they managed to reach the latter end of the tournament. First time at a FIFA World Cup final and from 8 years ago, back in 2018, and even though they lost to Argentina in the I think it was the semi-finals, they still managed amazingly to finish third in the third place playoff as well. So there is lots to cover, of course, on the next episode, so we'll save that until then. But once again, from me, Jack Wright, thanks very much for watching, and as always, until next time, au revoir, adios, or wiedersehen. Thanks for watching. See you very, very soon, partners.